Let's go up to the press box for a question. Go ahead, please.
Mike Embry, SpeedTV.com. Paul, what do you think the cutoff point was there for the tires? If that caution had come out and you had, for example, 30 or 40 laps, would you still come in?
Yeah, we kind of had looked at, kind of how some of the earlier races had played out, and the Phoenix race, the caution came out with I think there was 9 laps to go, and all the leaders pitted. So we were discussing on the pit box because I just had a feeling a caution was going to come out. Things were going just too well. Like Brad said, you're just waiting for it to happen. So myself, my engineer, we're kind of playing all the scenarios out. And, we felt like once we got to over 20 laps on our tires, we were in a window to pit for tires. So it's kind of how we played it out tonight.
Come back downstairs. I think Lee had a question right here. We could get her the microphone, please.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. For Bob, could you have imagined, being a journeyman racer, can you imagine ever being at this point where your son would get an opportunity like this with, a fellow guy from Detroit and what a guy from Detroit who's won, just about everything you can in motorsports?
I can tell you, I hope. That was my objective. But, you dream big, but, I still can't believe it happened. It's like, asking for the world, and I got it. Holy mackerel. I'm still wowed. I don't know. I think back through my career, if I would have did any one thing different, this might not ever come together like it did. And I just hit home run all the way. And I don't know how I did it, but that was what I dreamed my whole career. I'm sure my dad did. I wish he could be here. He's been gone for quite a long time, but he started this back in the 50s, and I bet he would be just amazed where Brad's at today and really proud.
Bob Pockerson, then Lee. Go ahead, Bob.
Brad, can you talk about the restart and Justin spinning his tires? And then did you see Carl pass you, and then did you realize he was giving it back to you there, I think?
Yeah, I was just trying not to run over Justin. I had to lift naturally, so I didn't get into Justin, and Carl had the momentum. And so I moved down a little bit just to make sure I didn't hit Justin and didn't get hit from behind. And I didn't see Carl beside me. I heard from my spotter that he was beside me, and I was actually kind of glad he was because it blocked somebody else from filling a hole. So, that was it worked out at the end, and I'm happy for that. Just we had such a great race car. Like I said, it was just a matter of making sure we didn't get wrecked, and I knew we could get it to the front.
Go ahead, Lee.
Lee Montgomery, NNSRacing.com. For Brad, and then Roger, if you could address this. Apparently you said something not very nice about Justin on a restart, and he wasn't real happy with you either. What happened there? Anything going on? Can you talk about that?
Well, I haven't seen the replay, but from my end, we were just all trying really hard, and we both had fast race cars, and your odds of this is something I talked about with Carl when we were having our run in there before, but the odds of running into each other are higher when you both have good race cars and you run around each other. So, all teammates go through that growing period, and I'm sure we'll all figure it out.
And can you just address that, if there's any controversy brewing there?
No, not at all. I think that, the problem, as Brad said, when you're side by side or behind each other and you're both going for it, you just got to be careful. And that's when you got to look at the big picture. And I think that, fortunately it sorted out. We didn't get into each other, and we moved on. But I think both guys raced hard. Justin had a good car, and I don't know quite what happened there at the end, but of course the 4 tires made a big difference. But we're going to move on to the next race. We don't have any issues that we can't deal with.
And this is for Bob about Dennis Setzer's car last week. What are you guys going to do with that? Has NASCAR got it, and have you looked at what happened and anything?
Well, I'm not really sure. Dale Jr. asked about that car. He'd like to have it. At this point here, it's something we need to start thinking about probably this coming week. NASCAR wanted to look at that car, asked if we would leave it alone till they could look at it. From a safety standpoint, you want to see if there's anything they can learn from it. And I mean, it would probably be a good car to look at from the standpoint as violent as that wreck was. The cockpit of that car, you couldn't tell it was ever involved in a wreck. It was perfect, and they were simply amazed at that, and they wanted to come look at it. Then Dale asked Brad to ask me if he could have that car for his collection of junkyard he has, and we haven't made that call yet, but there's a good possibility it just might end up over at Junior's if he wants it. I feel a little debt of gratitude towards Junior for what he did for Brad, so I'll try to help him out there.
Go ahead. Who had the next question? Go ahead, Jeff.
Jeff Hood of RacingToday.com. This is for Roger. In light of the way Brad's been running this year, does this kind of just further cement your decision to put him in the 2 car in the Sprint Cup Series next year, a car that has so much history and legacy?
Well, I think, obviously when we put our partnership together, we were talking about, the Nationwide and also the Cup Series. And, as it turned out, our ability to gain a new sponsor and the 2 car was open, based on where we were. And as you know, Verizon has not been able to run on Sundays. And so we've been running really without a sponsor this year. So it was a perfect step for Brad to jump into the 2. And I think that, at the end of the day, it's a perfect marriage. And, of course, he'll carry the cars Kurt has and Rusty did. So, it's just got so much heritage with that vehicle and the races it's won and where it's been in the point standing so many years. I think it's going to be great for Brad, and we're excited about it. I know he is.
Any further questions? All right, gentlemen, congratulations and keep it up.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody, for coming out.